The top three cryptocurrencies to get if you are interested in crypto right now. What's going on, people? It's your boy BSG. I'm going to try to make this video as quick as possible. If you're watching my channel, you know this is a crypto channel. So you're interested in cryptocurrency or somebody told you about it or whatever, and you're trying to figure out what the heck this is and should you invest, and you're hearing a lot of bad information out there. Just to sum it up, I just want to tell you that most of what you hear is manufactured, generated lies to get you to focus away from cryptocurrency and into the safety of the banks, when the banks themselves are investing in cryptocurrency. You have BlackRock trying to get a Bitcoin ETF. And I've just learned, like just before this video, I've heard of this new exchange. I'm not going to name the exchange right now because I haven't vetted it. But I've heard of this new exchange, and I just found out before starting this video that the exchange is owned or heavily invested in, as they like to say, by Charles Schwab and Fidelity. So if crypto is bad, that's all you're hearing. Crypto is bad. They're going after other exchanges. They're trying to shut down other exchanges under the guise that crypto is bad, even though these exchanges in many cases have done nothing wrong. They're doing things by the books. They're only going after them, specifically Binance, just so they can take Binance's business. That's what they're trying to do. They don't want to come into a free market and compete. They can't compete. So they just use what they have, the courts, the media, everything else, to go after what is a great exchange, a great company ran by a great individual. And they're just, trying to FUD him to take his business. That's what's trying to happen. Now, they're not going to succeed in taking all of his business, but they may succeed in taking the U.S. business, which Binance hasn't been focused on the U.S. anyway. So Binance is going to become more of the exchange of the East, or East uh, friendly countries, so Dubai, um, anybody that aligns themselves with China, Africa, India, they pretty much dominate there, and they're going to continue. But the banks and other familiar names that in the United States, they're trying to take this business. Why would they be trying to do that if crypto is bad? Okay, so I just want to give you three because there's not much to invest in out there, guys. I'm just going to keep you real right now. There's a lot of crap. I forgot to set that up. Let me just briefly, because I forgot to set that up. I'll come back to this. Let me briefly just talk about, and I'm just going to choose one. Talk about what not to have. Because see, if I talk about what not to have, then you'll understand, what to have. Okay. I don't understand why. I've never understood why this fascination with Cardano and XRP. I am going to be blunt, as I generally am. Cardano is trash. There is nothing to it. Nothing. It is nothing. It was never nothing. There was no adoption. It's just marketing. You have a bunch of guys who just have a bunch of tokens, and they use the media. But both XRP and Cardano does it. The reason why you like them is because you keep seeing them in the news. They're using the news to get you to buy so they can sell. The only way that, people who have a lot of tokens in a project can make money, they can't sell all their tokens at one time. They would crash the price. So they need people to buy for them to cash out. It's called exit liquidity. They need you to do. See the dollar. People make money with the dollar by just printing the. It's just made up. The dollar does not have a business. Have you ever thought about that? The dollar. What is the dollar's business? What is their business? They don't have a. There is no dollar business. It's just the Fed and the government that print, and they give the dollar value by policies, right? So we'll create this policy, and this policy will dictate that you must use the dollar. So, for example, you hear about this brick stuff going around. I'm not going to get into that. That's another video. I don't think I will say I don't think it's going to work or what have you, and it may end up resulting in a war, and we don't need that because the United States is not going to give up their dominance for nothing. However, BRICS is gaining steam. The primary driver behind BRICS is that other countries want to use other currencies to denominate oil in something other than the dollar. For the longest, you could only buy and trade oil in the dollar. So that alone gives the dollar, an advantage over everything else. And so it's by force policies that the dollar has perceived value. You have even some countries have abandoned their own local currency, and they're using the dollar because their currency just keeps dropping against the dollar. Okay, but they don't have a business, right? But in the case of crypto, you actually have to either have utility or you have to have liquidity, like real liquidity. And liquidity is simply, it's not simply, but basically other people holding, right? And so if you can get enough people to hold, if you want to be, devious and you have a lot of tokens, you just say, hey, okay, get them to hold so I can sell. That's what Ripple is about. That's what Cardano is about. There is no technology there. Period. I will tell Charles Hoskinson to his face. In fact, if he's listening or you're a Cardano supporter, you can send this to him. And I challenge him to come on this show, or I'll come on his show, or what have you, because I have the data. There's nothing there. Nothing. It's just perception. It's just marketing. Okay. And you could just see the numbers here, right? Let's look at, let me see, June 2020, it was 8 cents. Okay. Let's go, because I'm going to do this for every one of them. June 2021, it was 157. This was your time to cash out right here. Okay. And when it went up to almost $3 here, I tweeted, I said, if you're in Cardano, I'm telling you this for free, get out. I'll see you at 75 cents. Okay. Look at where, and people laughed at me as they always do. Look at where we are now. Okay. And so we look at pretty much where we're June. Now we're at 26 cents. So if you bought back here, good investment. If you bought back here, most people did not. If you bought and held for 3 years, which most people cannot do, yeah, you made 100 to 200%. You definitely beat the S&P 500. Great, that's awesome. But look at the trajectory. Okay, so just you'll do yourself a lot of favors just staying away from XRP and Cardano. Those are probably the two biggest marketed coins out there, and I don't understand why. Okay, so let's let's just talk about what you should have. And as always, I start with Bitcoin. The number one issue that I hear with Bitcoin, and it drives me nuts, is that it's too expensive. I don't know if you understand crypto. No matter how much a crypto is, you can buy whatever amount of it. So Bitcoin is at 30,000. If you want to buy $1 of Bitcoin, you can. $5 of Bitcoin, $10, you can. $1,000, you can. You don't have to buy a full Bitcoin. So stop saying Bitcoin is too expensive. It's not. As you can see, over time, it just keeps going up and up and up. Why is it going up and up and up? Because it is one of the only truly decentralized cryptos out there. It cannot be shut down by any government. You have thousands and thousands of people mining it, and you cannot make any more. You can't produce any more. It's a fixed supply. So if you have more countries adopting it, banks are just now getting into it. There are some countries that's trying to, not trying to, they're using it as legal tender in places like Colombia and other places. And there's only 21 million of them, or there's not 21 million right now, but there will be. There's only like 19 million of them right now. What a lot of people don't know is 4 million of them have been lost forever because people didn't know what they were doing and they sent them to dead addresses or they sent them to Satoshi. So it's not even going to be 21 million. It's going to be like maybe 17 million, probably more like 16 to 17 million. So it's even less, right? Um, it's not even enough for every person in America to have one. Just America. Now add to that other countries that have even more people. Think about India, China, countries in Africa, Nigeria, Rwanda. Like just do the numbers. Okay? If it's 8 billion people, 8 billion. If we ever get to the point where, let's say 5%, if 5% of people are holding Bitcoin, so that would be 400 million. What do you think is going to happen to the price? I know for a fact 400 million people are not holding Bitcoin. Okay? So that's the thesis with that. Don't worry about the price. You just buy what piece you can. If you can get a whole Bitcoin, if you can get several Bitcoin, do that. Bitcoin will be six figures. It's probably going to be a million plus when we factor in the inflation that's going to come from the dollar in other countries and all of that. So you got to have Bitcoin. Okay. The next one is 100. I've talked about this the last couple videos. Like, it's it's really hard to find projects that have originality, um, that have, what, you don't know the people, but, you could tell by their actions, seemingly a good team behind it, and they come with something new. Most of these cryptocurrencies are just copycats of each other. There's nothing technically different between Cardano and XRP and Solana and nothing. Okay, they're a token. You can buy it. You can sell it. Okay, 100 has developed an entirely new code where if you buy it, you have to wait at least 100 hours before you can sell it. Because what they did is that they noticed the frequency of people selling, and that's what's driving crypto down. Right? When people manage their own money, which when you come into crypto, for many people, it's the first time you're managing your own money. Most of your life, your money has been managed for you, either by your job, your IRA, your IRA, 401k. I can't talk this morning. Um, somebody is managing that for you, and you're just, going to work, and you work a certain amount of time and you get a check. And what most people do with the money that they actually control, I'm just keeping it real. Most people go blow that check, and they get paid on Friday, and the money is gone by Monday. There are a lot of people like that, right? However much money you have in your, just think about this. However much money you have in savings and investments right now, I only want you to count savings and investments, is all the money that you have to your name as long as you've been working. Think about that. So if you have like a few $1,000s or even $10,000 in savings and investments, and you are 35 years old, 40 years old, 30 years old, 28, whatever, however long you have been working, that is all the money you have to your entire name for all the years that you've been working. Think about that. So people don't know how to manage their money. They also don't know how to manage their crypto. There's nothing happen inherently with Bitcoin to make the price go down like this. The only thing that happened is people got scared because it was high and they sold. That's it. And then you had, the government started cracking down because they recognized that they could capitalize on people's fear. And they're like, hey, we can scoop up some cheap Bitcoin, which is what they did down here at 16, 17,000. So they basically ran a psyop, like just keeping it. They ran a program, and most people fell into that program because people can be easily manipulated by the media. These are just facts. I know they can hurt, but these are just facts. Bitcoin will go up when more people um, don't care about what the government is saying, what the media is doing, and all. Because there's nothing that happened here to make it go down. So the devs at 100 recognize, hey man, people won't even hold for 100 hours. So they said, well, let's make people hold for 100 hours and let's see what happens. And look at what has happened in just a little bit more than a month. So naturally, when people got up here, those that got in, close to the beginning, and it, went up 50 times their money, naturally, people not knowing how to manage themselves, they sold and it came down a bit. But if you zoom out and look over time, right, look at what has happened. So all you need, this is going to become like a game. Like when this really blows up, not financial advice, this is what I think. It's going to become a game because basically, if you have any type of like major volume that comes through, even one person that buys $1 million worth or 100,000 worth or whatever, it's gonna generate so much interest, right? And it's gonna make people who get in now some money, and inevitably some of those people are going to sell. But it creates this situation where it's like, okay, let me watch the volume, right? And see, where this can go. But over time, I think this just goes up and up and up. And it's fun. They do original artwork. You can check out the last video where I talked about it in more detail. And right now we're sitting at, you know, 300 something thousand market cap. Okay, this is under a million. And what I didn't say in the last video is available on Binance Smart Chain and Ethereum, and it's even cheaper on Ethereum for whatever reason. Because a lot of Ethereum folk just want to pump and dump. I'm just gonna keep it real. So who knows if it'll work, but at least they're coming out with something different to say. Everybody that gets into this, you're gonna have to hold for at least 100 hours, and those that hold for longer will, if this works, end up making the most. So full disclosure, as I said in the last video, I'm invested in everything here except the last one I'm going to talk about. So I'm investing in Bitcoin. I'm investing in 100. And this next one is a wild card. Okay. Just want to show y'all something real quick. Again, market cap 3 billion for Monero. Let's see where Bitcoin 588 billion for Bitcoin, rightfully so. And then let's see if they even have the 100 one. They don't they don't even have it. It doesn't even register. I'm telling you, it's like 360,000 right now. 360,000. Are you kidding me? So that's why I'm in it. We'll see if it works. But Monero is a wild card. Monero is proof of work, just like Bitcoin. It's not the same code as Bitcoin, but it's proof of work. And Monero also has an advantage. And that advantage is that all of the transactions are completely anonymous, private. All of them. Nobody can see, who's doing what. Okay. And so obviously, criminals and hackers and all that, they're going to gravitate to that. But I know that politically, you have a lot of people that focus on privacy and what have you, and the government's looking at me and all that. And there's some truth to that. And I don't believe that politically those people know what Monero is. They certainly haven't bought it and all of that. So, you know, as years go on, I think this is going to become more important. Like, if you're, you know, China and you want to hide some stuff, right? The easiest way to do that is through Monero. I'm just keeping it real, right? Or if you're in a divorce, if you're part of a divorce and you want to hide some money, you do that through Monero. So it has a lot of use cases. Whatever you might want to hide from, and the government has been trying to, uh, reverse engineer their code for years because they hate it. They can't stand it, which is called a clue, and they have not been able to do it. What I don't like about Monero is I feel like they haven't done with crypto. A lot of people think that is companies behind this stuff, and in the case of XRP, you're right. In the case of some other ones, you're right. But if you're a true cryptocurrency, there's no company behind it. There's no company behind Bitcoin. There's no company that I'm aware of behind Monero. So what does that mean? That means nobody is like gonna use their money to market this stuff when they don't have, they don't gain anything from it. See, when you're a company, you have a product and you're trying to sell shoes or, juice or liquor or hamburgers or whatever it is. So that's why you spend money on marketing, because you're trying to sell somebody something. But in the case of most cryptocurrencies, they don't have any marketing department. So that's why the ones that do, Cardano, XRP, you hear about those more, even though there's no technology tied to it. So now I'm going to contradict myself. That's what I don't like about Monero, because there's literally nothing. Monero has like some of the, I have different tools that I use, and I look for social scores. The social score of 100 is higher significantly than the social score of Monero. Now that's called a clue. This is at 3 billion and they're at 300 something thousand. Nobody really talks about this. They just use it and they keep it moving. There might be a Reddit group or something, but I feel like somebody could really get behind this and really, really promote it. And the way that I see partisanship politics happening uh, around the world, I could really see this being adopted by certain political groups that want to preach on privacy. And there are a lot of those. And, in some cases, I think, they should. Whether I agree or whether you agree with their political assertions or what have you, that's not the point. We are investors. Okay. So if hey, I think people are going to come around to this and there's actual utility behind it and it actually works, I could make money from this. Now, full disclosure, I'm not in this right now. I was in it before. I made a little bit, but I wanted to move some money somewhere else. And where I moved it, it was definitely the right decision at that time. So, but I feel like, it could be time for this. And all of these guys, let me say this quickly and then, that'll be it. There are a lot of you out there, you're not in crypto. As soon as you get into crypto, you want to trade. I don't understand what this fascination about trading is. I don't get it. And it's mostly dudes. I don't know if you like the way it looks. You like the pictures. You like the charts. Like, what is it? As a great trader, which I was and still am, there are few people that could trade better than me. I could probably between maybe two hands, maybe I would probably say one hand. And again, I have the information to prove I'm not just talking. That can trade better than me. That I would say, hey, they're a better trader than me. I can make a lot of money trading. I don't. Why? Because my mental, my time, my health, everything is better just by being a holder. And guess what? I end up making more money. Right? Just look at the wealthiest people in the world. The wealthiest people in the world are not traders. They are investors. Bill Gates is Bill Gates because he's an investor. Warren Buffett is Warren Buffett because he's an investor. And whoever you look up to, they're investors. In fact, some of the wealthiest people in the world make money off of trade. They're the people that own the brokers. They own the exchanges. You see what I'm saying? So they're making money off you. Right? Which frankly, I would take offense to. I'm like, ain't nobody gonna make no money off of me. So let me do what they're doing. Let me be still. And so any of these Bitcoin, as I'm talking, is moving. 100K. Not many people still know about it. Monero. These are long-term holds. You want to look at least for like 2 years. I'm telling you the secret to getting rich. 2 years is not a long time. So any crypto you invest in, if you don't see utility and value in it enough to hold it for 2 years, you shouldn't buy it. So that's going to eliminate most of the meme coins and stuff like that. Man, these meme coins, they come out, they die in 2 weeks. So why are you looking to, make 2 week money? You're not going to get in at the beginning because the most popular meme coins is millionaires getting into it at the beginning and they drive the price up and then they hype it up and then you get in at the top. Right? Like, let me just real quick here. Okay, this is the most popular meme coin out there. Let's look at this. Okay, came out here, went up a bunch, made a bunch of people money. This is where you heard about it. When it got on Binance, this is where you heard about it. And most likely, this is where you bought it. Here. And this is May. 1 month later, look at where we at. Now we're 50% down. Now, am I saying it's over? It may not go back up. No, I'm not saying that. But what is special about Pepe that's gonna make? Is there anything intrinsic about it? Is there some utility about it? Something? No, there's nothing. It's just a community-based thing that people want to get behind. A meme that people have been using for years. They've been using the Pepe meme for years, but nobody put a coin behind. But there's nothing game changing, intrinsic about Pepe that's going to keep its value. Doesn't mean it won't go up with the general market. But what it does mean is the chances of this at, where are we, 600 million market cap, the chances of this 10xing or 100xing again are nil. They're almost none. Okay? But yet you're going to keep seeing videos. You're going to keep seeing people market this. The stuff that I've given you, all of it, let me go back here, has a chance to at least 10x. Okay? Now let's look at, no, let's start with Bitcoin. So that's where I start. A lot of people think, oh man, well, this is higher. It's not going to 10x. What you have to ask yourself is there some original about it? Yes. Are there people behind it now? Yes. Who's adopting it? A country's adopting it as legal tender. Has every country adopted it? No. Are most people in Bitcoin? No. Do we already have 1 billion people in Bitcoin? No. How many people do we have? Well, maybe 10, 15, 20 million, maybe. I'm talking on my neck right now. I don't know. I know we have 1 million people that have at least one Bitcoin. That just came out. That's just 1 million, right? So, it might be 20, 30, 40, 50 million people that have a piece of Bitcoin. We will get to a point where there's, like I said, 400 million people that have Bitcoin. And then we're going to get to the point where companies are holding Bitcoin on their balance sheets instead of dollars. One of these companies could make it double. If Apple announces, which I believe they are secretly buying Bitcoin, if Apple announces that they are holding Bitcoin, this is going to double in a day. And then other companies that are holding it are also going to buy it, and it's going to go to 6 figures. That's what's going to happen, right? So that's why this still has potential. We know why this still has. It's so tight. Nobody know. I'm probably the only YouTuber even talking about this. When it gets to the point where you have a few more people talking about it, maybe people will know. I'm positioning myself now to get in before that happens. Okay, or it may not be adopted and it dies, but I'm at least taking that chance. Monero at 3 billion is tiny. This is tiny for what it could potentially be. I believe Cardano and XRP, I'm pretty sure they're worth more. But there's actually something behind this. It actually works. It's different. They just maybe had a worse marketing team in the world. Maybe somebody, an investor might come in, buy a bunch, and then it's in their best interest to hire a market company. I don't know. But that's my thesis behind this, is what I'm telling you. It doesn't mean that it will work, but at least there's something about. I wish crypto was like this. I wish every crypto that came out had to be something different in order for it to come out. Like, I actually wish there was a board and you had to get a patent and you had to demonstrate that your code, you had to actually demonstrate it, that it was different from everybody else's in order to be deemed something to even be released. It's not like that right now. There are literally, I'm not just 10,000 copies of Pepe. Literally 10,000 copies of Pepe. Look at this. Pepe, Pepe B and C, OX Pepe, Angry Pepe, Aping Pepe. I don't even know what this is. Rare Pepe. Like there are thousands of Pepe copies, and literally all they did was copy and paste. Nothing to it. Right? So these three that I've given you, at least is something different. It doesn't mean it's guaranteed to work, but this is the kind of stuff that you want to look for.